Hello everyone, Kelly here, where we learn to master our mirror. And I wanted to connect with you today because it's really important to follow your own guidance and follow what your twin flame is showing you, what your 3D reality is showing you. Because after all, the truth is that you create your reality through the law of attraction. It's not so much that you attract what you want and what you desire, but you attract what you are and what you believe about the world. And so sometimes we can even have, trauma patterns that we are not even aware that are still running our programs for us. And so this can result in fear-based mentality. This can be the result of not trusting the divine, not trusting our twin. Not to say that you have trauma if you're having trouble managing these things, okay? I don't take the word trauma lightly, but I do follow my own personal guidance. And I wanted to share my experience of what I'm discovering is a trauma pattern. Now, keep in mind that, a couple of people could have different circumstances and different experiences in life, and one person is going to have a completely different experience of that event than someone else. So it doesn't matter how harsh your world was or how great you feel perhaps your life is. You can still have a trauma pattern and be numb to it and not realize that how you perceive life is that it can be through trauma. And what I'm getting at, I'll share my experience. So for instance, my father was an alcoholic, and I never really knew him as a healthy person. He was never healthy. But I actually witnessed him kind of fall from grace, so to speak. It took about 10 years for him to, it took just about 5 years to kind of run through all of his work bridges to the point where he wasn't able to work anymore. My family took him in for about 10 years, and he finally ran through that bridge. And then he was homeless. So when I was a teenager, he became homeless, and my dad was in and out of jail, and so he was in and out of my life. There were periods of my life that I kind of blocked him out because I was on a really good path, and I knew that if I let him in, I would be letting in some really negative things and be around different parties and things that just weren't appropriate for me in my teenage years. And so probably wouldn't have been appropriate anyway at any time in my life, but definitely not in my teenage years. And so I had to set that boundary. But I never realized that I was still seeing this as a trauma pattern. Now I'm getting a lot of communication from my twin 5D, just a ton, that I feel, I've healed a lot of layers in my union, but there's still this communication barrier that I'm not able to somehow break through. And I'm realizing that I have this trauma pattern. I'm really having a hard time believing in my union and believing and trusting because I'm seeing through this lens of trauma. And so initially I got really, really terrified, really, really afraid that I discovered this block, because deep down there's somewhere inside of me that I'm really, really afraid to actually go into this wound and to heal it, because I've never experienced a life without this trauma. And I'm getting a little upset sharing this, but I feel like hopefully this will help someone out there who maybe you've been doing the work. The truth is that your twin will show you your subconscious patterns, the ones that you cannot see, because they're so rooted. And so I realized that I've been seeing life through a filter, of trauma. And so I'm going to be healing that through MAP over at Twin Flames Universe. So I have a consultation in a little bit today to move forward with this consultation and this healing work. And I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also really glad that I have this opportunity to finally, once and for all, really heal this deep, deep wound. And I thought, because, you know, this happened to my dad and I was somewhat removed from it, I somewhat protected myself, and I somewhat, you know, it just, but still there's something to be healed, so that I can have a really loving relationship, a really peaceful, kind, joyous relationship, and not always be believing that, you know, that the sky is going to fall, that, you know, be ready for the rug to be pulled out from under me. Now, I had to heal a lot of my financial blocks in order to get to this place. So, you know, I've had a coach for the last year now, and before that, I was learning on Twin Flames Ascension School through their classes, and I just keep getting to this certain place in my union that I just somehow I can't seem to work past. And my coach has this idea of like, okay, so I'll just go to the cards here, is like, you know, your union is kind of like this, and here's the breakthrough, and you may be pulling off, you know, layer by layer by layer, and you could have healed all of these deep layers, but still there's just a couple left. And so this is why the journey gets so frustrating and so hard sometimes, because we're like, wait, but but really it's like the window of the bee at the window, right? Is like, well, I can see the sun, I can feel it. Why is this not happening? Because there's still a block, even though you can't see it. So I want to encourage you all to keep going. If you don't have a coach, I encourage it. I've healed so many of my so much in the last year. I've actually been in touch with my twin since last September. So we are in touch, but it's very minimal, and we're still working through some things. So don't give up. And if you want some help, some guidance, I'd be happy to help you through your journey. And you guys have a beautiful day. And just remember, sometimes you can't see what you can't see, and that's why I have a coach, and encourage you to get the help and support that you deserve. All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Thank you.